What's up? What's up? What's up? Making sure everything's running. I got some breaking news. If anybody's a Washington Wizards fan, I don't know if you saw the news about the team moving, but we'll discuss that in a second. Wojnarowski just announced that on Threads. I'm glad I looked over there. All right, it's working. Let's see if we're live on Facebook. Yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect. What's up, Stefan? I I kind of care about them. I kind of care about them. It was pretty interesting to see that. Do you know anybody who is still in the WPT right now? I like the Wizards. I'm a Wizards fan. The Pistons aren't that good. Since I moved away, I haven't really been a Pistons fan. To be honest with you, after what Chauncey Billups, Big Ben, Rip Hamilton, uh, who am I forgetting? You know, oh my word, it should be the first person. Rasheed Wallace. Once that team kind of blew up, and I stopped watching them. But Detroit Pistons were the team back in the day. It was fun seeing my family too, because we were talking about the Memphis Grizzlies and what do they call it, Grindhouse. Zach Randolph, Mark Gasol, Mike Conley. That was a good team too. Uh, Old school. I loved watching them. All right, well, we'll get things started here in a second. I'm gonna make this one a podcast as well. So anybody who wants to watch it or listen, excuse me, if wants to listen to it in the car on the go, they can listen to it on the go. I'm gonna break down a couple of things might be valuable to y'all today. But before I get the podcast going, so we're gonna talk about the WPT Prime uh, poker event. If you're not a poker fan or if you're not a poker player, I will break that down for you a little bit more elaborate so you understand what's going on. But it's pretty simple. Pretty much everybody who was anybody, well, I shouldn't say that. Anybody who had the money or had the time to go out to Las Vegas to play a poker tournament was a $1,100 poker tournament, and they got a massive field. They were expecting, well, I shouldn't say they were expecting, but they thought the prize pool was going to be $5 million, and they actually have a $10 million prize pool. So blew expectations out of the water. I think even the operators probably didn't expect it to be that many players. So we're going to discuss that a little bit further today. Talk about the NFL top five, which I don't. This week is kind of boring. There's no real surprises other than my top five team, and you can probably figure out who I have as the number five team. We'll talk about the NBA breaking news that I saw about the Wizards, and then we'll talk about the stock market. Nothing deep. I wanted to go over a couple cool stories about Netflix, Apple, some privacy, some protection stuff that you might want to know, and McDonald's Cosmics. If you haven't heard, McDonald's is kind of rebranding, and it's kind of like a Starbucks feel, but they're rolling out these new restaurants that are going to be not necessarily a place where you go for breakfast to eat, but we're a place for you to stop like mid afternoon to get, like especially in, I think a lot of the places they're opening soon is going to be in Texas, and we'll discuss there's another place that they're open. I think the first location they're open is in Illinois, but Texas I think is great because I mean it's hot as heck there, right? And you're driving, you're out on the road. A lot of the times you want to stop and get a beverage. So if they have those places all over the place, I think that's a good and smart business for McDonald's. It's kind of interesting to see them roll out something like this. So I thought it was pretty interesting. So I wanted to discuss that and share. All right, give it a couple more minutes before I get things going. I'm not doing any ads today because I'm gonna try to I'm gonna do it fast because I haven't ate dinner. So this is just gonna be like I'm gonna run through straight content today. But I'll definitely watch in here in the chat and be engaging. I tried to invite a couple of the poker players that play the event. Obviously, Yasser, Lara, and Ryan. Ryan bagged like a really nice stack. I think 614,000 in day one. But he ran into a tough hand and he wasn't able to make it to day three. But I thought it was pretty cool that all three of them made it. Yeah, I know. There's one player that we'll discuss. Actually, we can get into it right now as I warm up. His name is Daniel Lowry, and he's been playing cards since I first got on the road in Choctaw. He probably lives in that area for sure. And he used to crush those fields there in Choctaw, and he probably has like the rings that you win when you uh, play in poker tournaments at the World Series of Poker during their circuit events throughout the year. He's probably at least top three in rings, I'm pretty sure. If not, if it's not, he doesn't have a bunch of jewelry, then he's probably top three or up there in all time money list. So he's a crusher, but as far as last time I saw, he's actually in first place in the WPT Prime. So that was pretty cool. All of the dealers and poker staff know him and love him. So always has good vibes wherever he goes. He's a nice guy. But definitely somebody I don't want at my poker table when I'm playing, that's for sure. All right, well, let's get things started for the podcast, and then we'll get into the information. All right. Let's try and get the music going on here better. I just messed that up. I wish you could see what I just did. So I literally just hit record, started the music for the podcast, and then I'm talking like my voice isn't being recorded. So let me try that again. As you can tell, this is going to be a lighthearted evening. It's nothing going to be too heavy tonight. But I definitely, when we talk about the NFL top five, I'm sure you'll have something to say about that. Stefan, about your Eagles. All right, here we go. Bear with me, y'all. My apologies. Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. Welcome to All in Society. I am your host, CP2. Today's show will discuss WPT Prime Event, NFL Top 5, some NBA breaking news that I just saw regarding the Washington Wizards. So it's definitely not information that everybody really cares about, but information I care about. And market talk. We'll discuss a couple of key stories in the market. Nothing heavy tonight, real laid back, fun stuff. If it's your first time joining us, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, whether you're watching us live right now during All in Society and Friends or listen to the podcast on the go. Appreciate it. So join me every Tuesday for fresh takes on sports, business, and trending topics for All in Society and Friends. You can watch me live on Facebook and on YouTube. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure my parents are at Chili's. Awesome. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page if you haven't done so already, especially those of you who are watching on Facebook. Check out All in Society and Friends every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Check out my website, www.allinsociety.com. You can find my Instagram handle, LinkedIn, my business email, all that good stuff in the episode description. All right, let's get into the good stuff. WPT Prime. So let's break it down first, because I'm sure there's some people that are listening and aren't maybe hip to poker tournaments or how it works. So I'll even break it down even more so than that. When you play poker, you can go, most of the time you go to the casino, right? Or sometimes you play with your friends and family at home. But say you go into the casino setting. You go to the casino, there's an entry fee that you have to pay. For this event, it's at the Wynn Casino, so very ritzy, very nice casino, great experience. And it's a $1,100 buy-in. So $1,100, you go in and you want to buy into a poker event. And this is a tournament. And we'll discuss the details further here in just a moment. Buy into the poker tournament. I don't know the complete details, but this is typically how it works for an event like this. $1,000 of that $1,100 is going to go towards the prize pool, okay? And then that $100 is what they call an entry fee. Just like if you wanted to go see a football game, and you went to Ticketmaster, there's always fees and things like that. So same thing applies. All right, so for this tournament, they advertised this tournament, as I said, it was $1,100 buy-in, and it had a $5 million guaranteed prize pool. So basically, they're saying they're going to get X amount of players guaranteed in order to have $5 million in this prize pool. Well, they ended up with over, I'll tell you exact number, they had 10,512 entries for a prize pool of $10,196,640 total in the prize pool. So $10 million. Over 10,000 people came to Vegas, or maybe they live in Vegas, you never know. Went to Vegas, went to the Wynn, bought into this event. Over 10,000 people. And first place is $1,386,280. Now, this is you probably like, there's all these people that have $1,000 to blow and spend. Well, I'm not going to get into the details in that, but there's things like poker staking. And so say if you wanted to play this event, but you only wanted to risk $500, you could find other people who wanted to put up the other $600 in order for you to play the event. And then if you win money, you guys would split your profits. So a pretty simple concept, right? And there's people that just got it, right? Poker community is full of folks that just have disposable income. A lot of people are retired, and that's what they do for leisure. Poker is honestly one of the best games on this planet. If you're not familiar how to play, definitely stay tuned with All in Society and Friends, and also discuss another opportunity available for you guys later on in this episode. But a couple of key notes that I wanted to add as far as the tournament. So you play a poker tournament. The way it works is you enter the event, and a poker tournament, you have to be the last person standing. You want to be the last person who has all of the chips. And how awesome would that be to take down over 10,000 people, will be the last person standing with all the chips, in the last person standing with your two cards, with the trophy they have, and of course all of the money at the table. Awesome moment, right? That's what all the poker players are there for. Everybody wants that moment, but there can only be one person. So the prize pool is distributed amongst the field. Now, of course, not everybody's going to make money. So let's say, and I'm not going to go into the details, but say let's typically 10 to 15% make the money in a poker tournament event. So you have to last till 10 to 15% of the field. And the way this works was they break the event into multiple days. So every person that comes in and buys in originally comes in and they play on day one. In order to make it further, there's levels that you play within that poker tournament, okay? So every tournament level is 30 minutes. So you play for 30 minutes at a specific stake, and the stakes go up incrementally whatever your time frame is. Sometimes they'll go up for every 30 minutes, and sometimes they'll change, and you have 40-minute levels. And I just want to give you the basics. We don't want to dive deep into that. But if you want to, like I said, stay tuned for more. And you can also join our Patreon, which I will definitely be breaking down poker on a more elaborate basis. I'm not here to teach you guys how to be poker players. That's not the point. The whole point is for you to understand how poker players take limited information, apply that information or that data, and then essentially invest. And so a lot of that is similar to the stock market or investing or whatever you're investing in, whether it be real estate, crypto, stocks, bonds, whatever the case may be. So that's what I'm trying to do, is really use poker as a mean for us to kind of get together and start having these conversations about creating passive income. All right. So moving forward, play the poker tournament. Now, as I said, it's broken up to multiple days. Day one, in order to make day two, you have to have enough chips to survive to the next day. So like I said, you play X amount of levels. So each day before the tournament begins, there'll be a designated amount of time that you guys need to play, or the players would have to play, or a designated amount of levels they will play. And at the completion of those levels for that day, if you have enough chips, you move on to day two. Pretty simple, right? Survival is fittest. You want to take everybody's chips, accumulate more chips, build your castle, build your troops, in order for you to continue to fight this elaborate battle. But you're not fighting or you're not playing against all players at the same time. You're typically limited to, before COVID, we would play 10-handed. Afterward, a lot of it's like 8-handed. Sometimes there's 6-handed events. The final table of this event will be a final table of 6. But I wanted to give a couple shout outs for 3 people that made it to day 2. I don't believe any of them made it to day 3, unfortunately. But Ryan Jones, Laura Eisenberg, and Yasser Al Khaledar made it. They all made it to day 2. Ryan bagged the most out of the 3, 614,000. And the reason why I highlighted the 3 of those individuals because all 3 have been either on the podcast or on All in Society and Friends, and they are top players in their states. And off the top of my head, I think I remember Ryan is number 14th all time in North Carolina, and then Laura and Yasser are top 25 in Maryland and Virginia. So I only have the cream of the crop on my show. So, and they made it to day 2, but like I said, I don't think they made it to day 3, but that's fine. This was just a warm up. I believe all 3 of them are playing the much larger event that'll be starting. If not today, it'll be starting in a couple days. So they got a good warm up. Hopefully, they do very well in the big event that's coming up. All right. Thanks for bearing with me through that. Now let's get into and let's discuss NFL top 5. All right. So this week is it's probably going to break down how the settings went or standings went. I think I said settings. I'm thinking about playing NFL Madden or something. All right. But the top of the list, I think everybody has them at the top of their list. They're my Super Bowl pick. I really worked these online betting sites. Well, I shouldn't say I really worked them. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But what I did, my strategy was, instead of kind of taking these flyers, a lot of times you sign up, right, and they give you these bonus bets. Well, I used a lot of my bonus bets and I put them on San Francisco early in the year, I think even before the playoffs started. And so right now, San Francisco are the favorites to win the Super Bowl. And I think right now, off of pretty much all majority free money, probably like 75% of it, I don't remember how much it is in total. Probably about $100 to $200 to win like $1,000 in total for the 49ers. And like I said, a lot of it's their free money, and I just kind of work the system and deposited small amounts in order to get those bonus bets, and then I just put them on San Francisco. It's typically what I do every single time I sign up for these new sites. So something for you to think about. I think I have the odds at one point for San Francisco to win the Super Bowl were like plus 1,000 or plus 1,100. So definitely looking real good right now. If they give me a cash out, I might have to consider it or do something about hedging my bets. So some of you, your sports bettors, I might need your help with that. How to work that how to leverage that the best way I can. All right, but 49ers are number 1. They beat the Seahawks this week. And after really smashing the Eagles, it's really self-explanatory. 49ers have to be your top team on your NFL top five, I believe, right now. Number two, I have the Ravens after they defeated the Rams. Um, I believe they have a strong defense, and their wide receivers are a little shaky to me. Their offense is a little shaky. Lamar, as far as his accuracy and their offense outside of them running the ball, to me is not consistent. Makes me nervous. So I wouldn't put a dollar on them, but they have a good complete team, and that's what I'm looking for right now. This time of the season are complete teams. Cowboys number three after beating the Eagles. Um, Eagles dropped to number four after losing to the Cowboys. And now here, I'm going to have to defend my boys. So when we look at the rest of these teams, and let me pull it up while I discuss this. I have the Lions at number five, even after losing to the Bears, yes. But look at the other teams that are pretty much tied for who you would consider fifth in your NFL top five right now. I don't know why this doesn't want to work for me. There we go. Sorry. All right, so I already said San Francisco, Baltimore, Dallas, and Eagles are already off our list. So next up, top for our number five to round out our top five, our possibilities are the Miami Dolphins, Detroit Lions, the Kansas City Chiefs, Jacksonville Jaguars. And if you really wanted to, you can squeeze the Cleveland Browns in there if you really wanted to. I believe all the teams are in that group. Kansas City has kind of shown us that they are definitely struggling. It seems like both sides of the ball. Jaguars, after their losses, not consistent, right? Miami, I don't really trust them. They can put up points, but who are they stopping? The teams that they were able to stop are not really contenders. And then that leaves us with Detroit. And yes, I understand. If, to be quite honest, with all of those teams, they might have the worst defense out of all the teams I just named. But their teams that they're struggling against are their division opponents, and I believe that they'll be able to handle the Vikings. I'm not worried about the Vikings, but the Bears and the Packers are always going to play them tough, and those are the games that I really kind of, well, I don't have any hair to really pull out, but really frustrated me the way that they performed. But even that being said, I trust the Lions, and maybe it's just me being a homer, over all of these other teams right now. None of these teams are really, I feel really comfortable putting at number five, but to me, they're the most complete team after the top four. So, what do you guys think? I'm curious. Leave a comment. Let me know what your top five would be. Leave a comment on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, like, share. Let me know what you think. All right, breaking news. This is for the NBA. According to Woj, on Threads, actually, Monumental Sports and Washington Wizards owner Ted Leonsis, I think you pronounce his name that way, plans to join Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin in Alexandria, Virginia, where I used to reside, for a news conference on Wednesday to unveil plans for a proposed new arena complex and entertainment district for Wizards and NHL's Capitals. It reports a deal is close for the Wizards and the Capitals to move the franchise out of downtown DC and to Northern Virginia. So this is very, very interesting. I'm actually excited about this as long as they don't move the team too far from me, because I do not enjoy going into DC, not one bit. Maybe every once in a while to get a nice meal, a nice dinner, or just to go to the city for an activity, an event. But as far as going and the parking and just the congestion on the road and the traffic, I'm not a fan. But let me know what you think, especially those of you who are longtime season ticket holders who might be listening to this. Those of you in the NFT community, shout out to the NFT community. Maybe we're coming back because crypto's coming back. Well, let me know what you think. Does it kind of put a bad taste in your mouth? Those of you who are season ticket holders for long term, and now they're moving the team. What do you guys think? I would like to know. I would like to know. All right, let's discuss a couple of articles and news that I saw regarding business. I think they're pretty cool stories. First up, you'll definitely be interested in this. Netflix, What We Watched report. The streaming service finally provided some transparency and by ranking all of its shows and movies over the past 6 months. So they've never done this before. Netflix will release updated reports every 6 months going forward. The top five includes The Night Agent Season 1 as number one. Number two, Jenny and Georgia Season 2. Number three, The Glory Season 1. Number four, Wednesday Season 1. I've actually watched that one. And number five, Queen Charlotte, Bridgerton story. So let me know in the comments, are you guys surprised by the list? And you can find the entire list in the article that I got this information from in the episode description. I'll have it there for you. All right, next up, Apple's stolen device protection. Apple to release a new security made for iPhones that can protect users when thieves or other attackers learn the user's private passcode. And based on the article that I read here, there's some people on some elaborate tricks in order to get you to kind of put your passcode in front of them, like people watching you at the bar, especially women. You all got to be careful. Be very careful. The setting will use the device's location to determine whether the user is at home or work. If the user is at an unfamiliar location, then the mode will require Face ID in addition to a passcode to perform sensitive actions such as checking or changing passwords. Stolen device mode can be turned on under Face ID and passcode. Then stolen device protection for those who have the latest developer beta of iOS 17.3. All right, next story, Cosmics. So have you heard about McDonald's new brand, Cosmics? They're rolling out brand new stores. The first locations opened in Bolingbrook, Illinois. 9 more locations are expected to open by the end of 2024. The store is a beverage concept with the menu designed to cater to customers looking for an afternoon pick-me-up. Interesting. So I'm curious, are you interested in a store like this? I I didn't really want to go over the menu items, but a lot of it's like slushies, cappuccinos, things like that. Like it said, it's a place for you to stop mid-afternoon. A lot of locations are going to be, well, it looks like the newer locations that'll be open will be in Texas. So it just looks like they're trying to play on people that just want a quick beverage, like a Sonic. But I don't know how many people go to Sonic anymore. So I don't know. I think it'll be successful. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. I thought it was pretty interesting to see McDonald's rolling out a completely new store. We would never think of that, right? I remember it's kind of crazy. I don't even know if they have them anymore, but you know those big playhouses they have in McDonald's or the other fast food restaurants? And how disgusting of a world do we live in now? And I'm not going to harp on this, but people putting needles and things like that in there. And we can't even, like, children can't even play at bounce houses anymore. We can't have those things. That's disgusting. But moving on, I don't want to harp on that. Uh, Bitcoin. What is the current price of Bitcoin? I want to kind of go over what is Bitcoin every episode, just so we can kind of watch and see how it's trading. So it looks like right now it's sitting at 41,337. A little bit of a dip, but not much from its recent highs around 44,000 or above 44,000. So a little bit of a pullback. As I mentioned before, dollar cost averaging is a good approach if you're interested in investing in Bitcoin. I know the thing that I've been running into is that I don't want to use my debit card in order to buy Bitcoin. So I got to find a way that I feel safe. So I'm not putting I don't care if it's Coinbase, whatever the case may be, whether I use my ledger or whatever. I don't feel comfortable using my bank account to transact with crypto. Not a fan. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way to go about it because I don't think you can use credit cards either. But all right, that's pretty much it for today's episode, y'all. I did want to go over a disclaimer. I know I mentioned Bitcoin and dollar cost averaging, so let me do what I got to do. The information provided in this show about personal finance and investing is for educational purposes. Is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Viewers are encouraged to consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. The content presented may not be accurate, complete, or timely, and we do not assume responsibility for any errors or omissions. Investing involves risk, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Any endorsements or advertisements featured do not constitute recommendations, and by participating in the show, you acknowledge and accept these disclaimers. All right. So I just want to kind of go over what I've been doing the past month or so. So I'm diving into options, and by diving in, it doesn't mean I've done any trades. I've just been researching um, how to trade options, a strategy that I'll be using, and I don't know how much I'll be playing cards. I mean, I don't want to say that, but I'm absolutely falling in love with the stock market game. Um, from coming from poker first and now into the stock market, the things that a lot of people are scared of, it's almost laughable to me because I'm accustomed to not minding going and playing. To me, poker it's entertainment, but it's also I don't go there to mess around. I go there to make money. And so when I go and play cash games, I go there knowing that a good 60 to 70, at least 60% of the time, if I play cash games, I'm going to make money. I'm not a person that is there to have a good time. I'm there to make money, and I have strategies and play a specific way, and can take advantage majority of the time. Now, things aren't always in my control, and you lose, and sometimes you lose everything you bring to play with. But that's why you practice bankroll management. And a lot of these things that are applied in poker is a lot more riskier. Applying those into the stock market gives me a little bit of more freedom in the stock market because I feel it is a lot more difficult for me to lose my whole stack when I go and play or I go and trade. It's very difficult if I follow all of the parameters and checklists and make sure I'm investing in great companies and investing in great companies at a great price, opposed to kind of doing risky companies like some of the companies that I talk about, such as Roblox. They're not profitable, but I am heavily invested in Roblox because I've done my research and I truly believe this is a disruptive technology. Now, things do happen that are not expected, absolutely, when you're growing a company, but I'm willing to take that risk. Some people aren't willing to take that risk, and I think that's the reason why I'm going to make a lot of money investing in the stock market. And so at this point, that's what I wanted to talk about Patreon. And so, like I said, I am a poker player, and I'm by no means one of the best or greatest poker players you will ever see or meet. But what I do know is there's not a lot of people that really understand and come from the poker background and can merge the poker and stock market together. And I think that makes me a little bit of a unicorn. And just in a little bit of time with me trading and using a long-term approach in my personal portfolio, I'm beating the S&P 500. And so that's kind of our like barometer where most, especially like hedge funds and people that manage a lot of money, that's where their barometer is. And so if I'm beating that barometer, and I understand it's just 1 year, but that already means I have a really good base on long-term investing. So options are just going to be that much easier. I just have to invest in better companies and not the risky companies like Roblox, like I've done. So if you want to join a group of people that are going to merge those concepts and those aspects from the poker world into investing, and it doesn't have to be just stocks, it's real estate, it's crypto, like I said, it's all types of investing. Or you want business partners, people who think outside the box, or if you're just looking for people that have disposable income and maybe want to invest in your business. I'm building a community. It's going to be a very diverse community. Like I said, it's not just a community of poker players or stock folks. It's a diverse community of whatever you're passionate about, whatever your industry is. I want us all to collaborate and come together, because when we come together as one, we're a lot more powerful when we are separate. I think everybody understands and believes that. So if you guys are eager to build long-term strategies and passive income, and I'm gonna keep this real brief for this episode. All in Society is launching a VIP all access pass on Patreon. It's gonna be $50 a month. You can cancel at any time. If you don't like what you see for that month, cancel. Be on your way. It's $50. I guarantee you're spending $50 on nonsense throughout the month, every month. We all are. We have those extra subscriptions that we didn't cancel. That extra, those pants that are still in our closets that we never wore because they were out of style or they don't fit anymore. Whatever the case might be, you already know what I'm talking about. But we all got that extra money, and I guarantee I'm going to provide $50 worth of value for you guys. So that's be launching next year. We're going to dive deep in exclusive interviews with industry icons. You already saw I have the cream of the crop poker players. If you haven't seen, it's a great time for me to talk about this. The last episode of All in Society and Friends, I had on Joshua Rusin. I actually went to high school with him in Michigan, and he is definitely on his game in the multi-family unit real estate investment uh, career, or for lack of a better word. Sorry, y'all. He's doing his thing in the real estate game. So definitely check out that episode if you're interested in real estate. I tried to ask him a lot of questions that might provide value for yourself, and I tried to ask him some questions that that I wanted some answer to as well. But he's got a lot of knowledge. He's launching a community as well. So make sure you check that out. Check out his website as well. Again, I definitely, if Josh, you're watching this, appreciate you coming on and doing that. So just like that, I'll hopefully have these same individuals back on, give us a little bit more game, as well as have other people come on. I've met people all walks of life in the poker community. A lot of them are on my phone. I just have to pick them up and ask them if we can pick their mind a little bit. So that's another reason why I want you guys to get into poker, because you don't. It's kind of like when you go to poker is a cheat sheet. You know, when you go to the airport, and a lot of times you hear people say you go to first class, and some of those conversations lead to business partnerships and things like that. Well, the poker room is literally the same thing. You have people all walks of life. You have people who typically have disposable income if they're at a poker table. So it's kind of the same thing. I'm telling you a game that I'm going to be putting in the Patreon, because a lot of people don't. Literally, poker is, there's so much value in poker, and it has nothing to do about you sitting down and gambling. Just being in a poker room and just being in that environment, the people that you have availability to. Some, especially if you live in an area like I do in the DMV and you play poker at MGM National Harbor, there's there's all walks of life in there. You don't know who's who. People, the government officials, there's actors, celebrities that walk in there. Russell Westbrook's been in the poker room. Bruno Mars has played poker in that poker room. Now you don't have access to these people, of course, but that's what I'm talking about. You get all walks of life. It's all people that play poker. So if you're kind of standoffish on gambling and kind of the poker conversations, hopefully I made you kind of think of it a different way. It's all about networking, and you can go to a poker tournament and you can play, or excuse me, you can go poker casino, a poker room at a casino, and you can play a limit hold'em game and sit down with $40 and have a really good time and not lose a lot of money, and have some great conversations, and you might be surprised at people you meet there. But also, 9 times out of 10, there's people that you don't want to be around, and the conversations aren't going to go anywhere, and they're just kind of like poker heads. So just be mindful of that as well. You kind of have to dodge a lot of the landmines. Um, but like I said, I'm gonna keep this short. I'm not really trying to sell you guys today. Just stay tuned, or you can just follow me and watch me. If you see my trajectory, you like how things are going, jump in the community. I'd love to have you. And that's going to do it for me. Before we close, I did want to go over a couple of things for y'all. Make sure if you're traveling for the holidays that you check out Travel Pro. The link will be in the episode description. They have really nice, high quality gear, and I believe last time I saw it was a 15% discount. So make sure you check that out. All right. Remember, y'all, life is one big session. Play the cards you are dealt to the best of your ability, and I promise you will come out ahead. Hopefully you have a marvelous, a wonderful, terrific weekend. Be safe these holidays. Be careful. I know the weather's been rough and wet and slippery here. We have snow in southern Maryland, so be careful out there. Peace, y'all.